Yo, what's going on, guys? Leetch here with a special episode of Super Awesomeness. Alright, first and foremost, this is the series I was referencing in terms of what xTech Gaming has done. Does a phenomenal job with it too. He takes old NHL teams and throws them into the current NHL and sees how they simulate. Now, first and foremost, I'd like to give a huge shout out to this guy, xTech Gaming. Amazing guy. I messaged him on Twitter. I asked for his permission to do this video and kind of, do a little mini series of it for myself, and he was more than willing to allow me to do this, and he's just an awesome guy. And please, I will put the link to in the description to his channel. Click on his channel, check him out. Super awesome guy, makes awesome videos. I highly suggest checking him out. Please do so. Anyways, as you all know, huge Ranger fan is the head of this channel, and I figured what better way to start this mini-series than using the 1994 Stanley Cup champion New York Rangers team, featuring players such as Mark Messier, Adam Graves, Mike Richter, Sergei Zubov, Alexei Kovalev. We got them all here. Hell, I even made players to throw on the bench. Those players we named Doug Lidster and good old Eddie Olczyk, who did not see much action, but we'll get to that later. Let me show you all the overall ratings, all the players first and foremost, and then we'll get there. First and foremost, good old Adam Graves. Now, the year that the Rangers won the Stanley Cup, Adam Graves scored 52 goals, and I think added 29 assists, something along those lines. He finished in the 70s in points. Had a phenomenal year. Huge part of the Rangers' success this season. Huge part. He was only 24 years old. I gave him a very good shot. He also killed penalties. He had a few shorthanded goals that year. I'm not sure the exact count on that, but I know he had a decent amount of shorthanded goals. Obviously, Adam Graves, power forward, good physical presence. Great guy to have on your team, Adam Graves. Now, Mark Messier, I had a hard time deciding what to do with his overall because I believe he had 79 points in 84 games. So he wasn't exactly point per game. However, still Mark Messier. Still a phenomenal year, phenomenal player, down in the history books, top 5 all time, in my opinion. Now, we gave Messier good defensive stats, excellent faceoffs. He was, one thing Messier was very, very good at was taking faceoffs. Always winning faceoffs, especially when it counted most. His offensive stats I put up nice and high. When they get that overall up there to 94, I feel like that's fair for Mr. Messier. I feel like that's good for him. He's a good skater, not the best skater of all time. Very quick though. He was a good skater. So I'll leave it at that. I'll give him 5 stars for that. Physical, Messier was a tough guy. Tough, mean guy. Alexei Kovalev, the 19-year-old, although he was 20 by the time they raised the cup. Gave him good offensive stats, mediocre defensive stats. Kovalev had, there were a few times, actually a very famous incident. Alexei Kovalev was never always keen on coming off the ice when he was called off. There was one time where Mike Keenan, the Rangers coach at the time, gave him like a 4, 5, maybe 6-minute shift because he was so sick and tired of Kovalev not coming off the ice. So he gave him an extra long shift. And Kovalev was known for defensive mistakes in the defensive zone, miscoverages, all that good stuff. However, his offensive stats and skating through the roof. So we gave him excellent stats for those categories. Now, moving on, Esa Tikkanen and Sergei Nemchimov. Sergei Nemchimov was one of the first Russians ever. Actually, I believe him and the defenseman Karpatsev were the first Russians to ever have their name put on the Stanley Cup. However, Nemchinov is an interesting story. He actually passed away in a Russian plane crash in Russia, playing for a Russian team. He passed away, Nemchimov. However, let's get past that, the sad stuff. Esa Tikkanen and Nemchimov both had 20-plus goal years. Nemchimov was a pain in the butt to play against. He was a physical presence, but not the physical presence that's going to lay you out. Just the physical presence that's going to get under your skin, as was Esa Tikkanen. Esa Tikkanen was the king of it. Kind of like a bigger version of Matt Zuccarello. Both very good passers and shooters. Defensively, they're up there. I know Nemchimov was a good penalty killer. However, Esa Tikkanen was more like a solid two-way forward. Now, Steve Larmer, the longtime Blackhawk turned New York Ranger to win the Stanley Cup. Great veteran on the team. Had 60 points in 69 games. I believe that was the final game total. 60 points, I'm sure of. I'm not sure about the game totals. I believe it was 69 games. Not the most physical guy ever, not the biggest guy ever. He's only 5'10", 190 according to HockeyDatabase.com. Good defensively, good shot, good everything. No, does not excel in any particular area, but just good at everything. Set aside the physical aspect of it. Now Stefan Matteau scored the famous goal and the famous call by Howie Rose on the radio. Matteau. Mactavish was a grinder. He was a youngin, 23 years old when the Rangers won the Stanley Cup. Physical. He can do a little bit of everything. He scored a little bit. I believe he finished the season with 19 goals in 93-94 because they acquired him from, I think, the Toronto Maple Leafs on the deadline. The Rangers made a whole mess of trades before the Stanley Cup run at the deadline. Actually, the Rangers, this is not really noted by many people, but the year the Rangers won the Stanley Cup, they shipped out Mike Gartner and Tony Amonte, who both, Gartner already had established himself with a great career, but he went on to have an even better career. Tony Amonte grew to be a ridiculously good player. Most of you know Tony Amonte and Mike Gartner. At least I hope so. Matteau, great player. Hard shot, not the most accurate. Mediocre accuracy. Decent everywhere. Decent defensively. Physicality is where he excelled in. Not the greatest fighter, however. Big, tough guy. Made him well-rounded. Craig Mactavish. Ex-GM, I believe. Yeah, ex-GM of the Oilers. I'm pretty sure he's the ex-GM now. Excellent all-around. Great at face-offs. He was the last player to not wear a helmet while playing. That was Craig Mactavish. Actually, the last face-off of the 94 Cup, I believe it was him that took the face-off, and he was not wearing a helmet during that face-off. So you can go watch that video. I'm sure you'll find it on YouTube. He was not wearing a helmet during that face-off. Great all-around player. He had better years with Edmonton Oilers, 100-point seasons. Was definitely an older guy, more of a veteran that the Rangers brought in for the Cup run, but still just as effective in defensive aspects of the game. Good offensive guy, great guy to have on a Cup-winning team. Brian Noonan, same thing. I believe the Rangers brought him in at the deadline. I'm pretty sure. I think he had like a 20-goal season, maybe 18, 19, 20 goals. More of a defensive player, again, defensive, physical, bottom six guy. Could play anywhere. He did play top 3 minutes with the Rangers on the top line a few times during the 94 run, but mostly find him on the second and third line. The only line that was ever set in stone, I'm not even going to say line, pairing, set in stone by Mike Keenan during that 93-94 season was the defensive pairing of Brian Leetch and Jeff Bukaboom. That was the only thing that was ever set in stone. Now, the fourth liners, the Goon Squad, set aside Glenn Anderson. You got Nick Kyprios, and Joey Kocur. These guys both racked up over 100 penalty minutes that season. You guys know them. They both scored like 4 or 5 goals respectively, but known mostly for their physicality and, relatively decent defensive play. Not decent to where they're going to kill penalties, but they played their role. Now, Glenn Anderson I want to talk about because he's another one. He had phenomenal seasons before he came to the Rangers, as well as with the Rangers when he won the Cup with them. Excellent defensive center, played his role. He was actually on the second line more so than Nemchimov and Mactavish. However, for this simulation, I don't want Glenn Anderson on the fourth line because he's a grinder. These are two-way forwards, so we'll keep them up there. I'd rather have Glenn Anderson on the fourth line. Good defensive player, not the most physical guy in the world. 5'11", 175 according to Hockey Database. So I think the fourth line's a good role for him. Poise guy. Experience all around his lineup is experience. Guys that have been there before and won. So that was a big thing for the 94 Cup team. Now let's move on to the defensive team, the defensive aspect. I think you'll like these overall ratings. I made them as fair as possible. Some a little bit worse than others, but let's see. Take a look. First and foremost, Brian Leetch, the 24-year-old franchise defenseman, argued at that time to be one of the top 5 defensemen in the NHL, if not top 3, by some people have said about Brian Leetch during his era of play. Now, Brian Leetch had 79 points in 84 games, but he had 23 goals, so I gave him a good shot. Excellent defensive stats. Everybody knows Brian Leetch was a great skater. Not the most physical guy in the world, but he would lay the body a little bit. Offensively, just great defenseman. I listen to him as a two-way, not an offensive, and I'll show you why in 1 second. Sergei Zubov, many may not know, but he led the 93-94 Rangers team in points with 89 points during that season. Led the team in points. Defensively, played his role. Solid defenseman. However, when you have Sergei Zubov on the team, you know he's the point guy. He's not really going to... He could shut down, the top players on the opposing team. However, he's the offensive guy. You give him the puck on the power play, and he's just absolutely ridiculous. Rangers had one of the best power plays in their history when Sergei Zubov and Brian Leetch were out there together. Now, these 3 players, not known as much as Zubov, Bukaboom, and Leetch, however, they were just as important. Jay Wells, he might have had 7 or 8 points during the regular season. So, not the most offensive guy in the world. However, his defensive stats, and I had to look this up because I wasn't familiar with him until I read about him and spoke to my father and many Ranger fans that I know. His defensive game and physical game was on point. Had racked up over 100 penalty minutes during the 93-94 season. However, penalty killing was his forte. Excellent defenseman there. Big guy, tough guy. Played his role and was a big part of the 94 Cup. Alexander Karpovtsev, another, like I said about Sergei Nemchimov, was one of the first Russians to ever have their name engraved on the Stanley Cup. 22 years old. This, I believe, was his rookie season. He had just come over from Russia. Top 4 guy, consistently, played a lot of minutes, important minutes. He might have only had 20 points that year, however, his puck moving was exemplified. Excellent puck mover. Not the most physical guy in the world. As big as he is, 6'2", 200, which is respective. Not very physical at all. However, he was an aggressive player and was definitely a strong guy. Those Russians are built like oxes. Now, Kevin Lowe, not known very much in Rangers history, but solid defenseman, well-rounded, better defensively than offensively. Another one of those Rangers defensemen. I believe he was an Edmonton Stanley Cup winner a few times. Came over more for his defensive game than his offensive game. However, he put up a decent amount of points. I don't recall exactly how much. I believe closer to 20. Now, big boom and booka-boom, baby, at the point. We got him on the third pair because, I wanted the team to simulate well. It would be nice to have authentic lines, but the game just wouldn't work out well with that. Now, Jeff Bookaboom, not going to score you any goals, had a cannon of a shot, will beat the crap out of the opponent, and at the same time play an excellent defensive game, which is exactly why Bookaboom lasted in the league as long as he did with the physical game that he brought. Great defenseman to have, at least back when he played. He wouldn't fit in as much nowadays as a big frame, mostly physical guy. It would be hard for him to keep up with those the quick rookies and the quick young guys in the NHL today. However, in his time, very effective defenseman and definitely feared by his opponents. Now, let's take a look at the goaltenders. Now, take into account Mike Richter was a top 5 goalie in the NHL during the Stanley Cup run. Goals against average, save percentage, shutouts, all that stuff. He was up there. Very much so. So, Mike Richter, we gave 92 overall. High elite potential. Definitely his ceiling season. I don't think he had a season better than the 93-94 season in terms of results. Although he did make the Eastern Conference Finals with the Rangers in 96-97. The first year Wayne Gretzky was on the New York Rangers. Pretty sure they were eliminated by the New Jersey Devils. Now the backup goalie, the 84 overall fringe starter, ex-Islander, Glenn Healy. Now look at the height of Richter and Healy. Richter's 5'11", Healy's 5'10". Small goalies back then. However, they got the job done. Glenn Healy was the starter for the New York Islanders a couple years, backed up a little bit for them too. The Rangers brought him in for the Stanley Cup run, and it paid off in dividends as Glenn Healy had an excellent regular season and even made a postseason appearance. So he did excellent. Now, let's get right into the simulation. Let's see how the 93-94 New York Rangers hold up against today's NHL. 94-94-94 are their ratings. Let's take a look. All right. Now, 94-94-94 for offense, defense, and goaltending is quite respectful, I would believe. I got to edit that scouting assignment, though. You never know who you might pick up in the draft. Those are good ratings. I feel like we could definitely do something with this team. I think we can go pretty far. Now, I'm not going to make any trades. I feel like I maybe should even edit the trading block because I really don't feel like teams bugging me about making trades. Would not be the most fun thing that ever happened, especially if that's a reoccurring theme throughout the season. Would not be fun for me. All right. Preseason not too great so far. 2-4 is ugly. However, it is just a preseason. Anything happens in the preseason, who knows what's going on. Coaster and Kyprios are just racking out the penalty minutes right now. So let's get to this regular season. 3-4 in the preseason. Who cares about that? Amateur scouts calling. That's great. I'm so happy for this draft class. Let's get her done. The New York Islanders, Game 1 at the Garden, and we lose in a shootout. Well, that is incredibly demoralizing. However, let's get them back in Game 2 against St. Louis. What do you say, Rangers? Yeah, all right, there we go. All right, first win of the season for the 94 Rangers, baby. Let's go. Let's go. I'm pumped. I'm actually really excited to be doing this right now. I wanted to do this for so long. I just didn't do it. I always wanted to ask xTech first, make sure I have his permission to do so. I don't want to be known as this content stealer. And I have a lot of respect for xTech. Amazing YouTuber. The guy's got like 40-something thousand subscribers. The guy is a beast. The guy's a beast. So again, thank you to him for allowing me to do this. Badass guy. Beat Boston, baby. Let's go. Bang! Now, let's talk a little bit about the 93-94 Rangers and what happened. So, I believe there were 6 players they brought. Please don't make this a recurring theme. 6 or 7 players the Rangers brought in and shipped out at the trade deadline. Obviously, I said Mike Gardner and Tony Amonte were 2 players they ended up shipping out. Also, a little storyline for you. You know, we're gonna end the trading clock really quick while I'm talking about this. So when the Rangers traded for Mark Messier years prior to them winning the Stanley Cup, many years prior, there was a player on their team, a young player named Louis DeBrusk. His son Jake DeBrusk, I believe it's his son, is actually drafted by the Boston Bruins in the year they had 3 first-round picks, and he's one of their top prospects right now. Now, Louis DeBrusk was the name that had to go back in this Mark Messier trade. And when this was all going down, people were saying, you know, no, don't trade Louis DeBrusk. He's just going to be Mark Messier. He's going to be Mark Messier of the future. Don't sacrifice him now when he'll just be what Mark Messier is. So what happened with Louis DeBrusk is the Rangers obviously end up going through and making the trade. Louis DeBrusk being the centerpiece going back in terms of youth for Edmonton. Now, DeBrusk did not have the career that everybody thought he would. Louis DeBrusk, he was more of a tough guy throughout his career. Did not score, did not do anything that was, you know, projected of him. So it was kind of a rough career for old Louis DeBrusk. However, Louis DeBrusk ended up spending the last season of his professional hockey career with the Hartford Wolfpack, the Rangers' AHL affiliate. And that was where he finished his career. So I guess in the end you could say the Rangers ended up winning the Mark Messier trade, obviously. What else can we talk about that 94 team? Mike Gardner and Tony Amonte. So the thing with Mike Gardner is he was very much like Marian Gaborik was for the New York Rangers when the Rangers had him. Excellent regular season player. However, in the playoffs, Mike Gardner, the defense would shut down on him. He wouldn't be able to get through everybody like he did in the regular season. His speed wasn't used as much, and he was not scoring at the rate he was in the regular season, so which made him a postseason liability. So the Rangers ended up trading him in response to that, and they brought back a few players that helped fill roles. I believe the player they brought back was Matteau and a few other pieces, because I'm pretty sure they traded him to Toronto. Pretty sure. Tony Amonte, obviously a beast of a player, had a phenomenal career. The Rangers traded him as well. That was a trade that is still question mark. Was it really worth trading Tony Amonte for what they got in return? I believe so. Obviously got them a Stanley Cup, so it was worth it in the end. You sacrifice a bit of the future, but at the same time, I mean, if the Rangers didn't win the Cup in 94, they would not have won it at all, and here is exactly why. The New Jersey Devils. The New Jersey Devils went on their ridiculous run. Obviously, Martin Brodeur, lights-out goaltender, one of the best goalies, if not the best goalie in NHL history. So if the Rangers had not won in 93-94, they might not have won it all. So you definitely got to be all in that year. Definitely got to be. Let's see, what other storylines can I talk about that year? MSG Network they do documentaries all the time when they talk about Rangers and stuff like that. They had an awesome documentary in that season talking about it. Let's go back to Mark Messier for a second. So, in the All-Star game, a couple years before maybe the season before the Rangers got Mark Messier, Brett Hull was they heard him on camera saying, like, talking to one of his All-Star teammates, saying, "Yo, you hear the Rangers might get Messier?" And it's cool because you know how the players interact in between each other, talking about stuff like that, like player trade rumors, all that good stuff. It was interesting to hear that stuff. Don't really hear a lot of it today, and most of that's kind of left to the TSN analysts and insiders. All right, the Rangers are 15-13-2. Not that great, if you ask me. I feel like we could be doing a lot better. At one point, we were like 9-3-1, so definitely got to get back in that dub column. Definitely got to get in that column. Playing the Nashville Predators, who I don't even think existed when the Rangers won the Cup. Do not believe even existed. The New Jersey Devils, our arch nemesis. Kill them. Beat them. Come on. Nope. Only get a scouting assignment. Wait for it. As soon as the simulating thing stops swinging around. Hey! Shaboosh. All right, so now let's talk about this mini-series a little bit. So, I have 3 other teams in mind and created to do. I think I'm going to do this weekly, do 1 team a week. I'm not going to spoil the teams. However, just know that they're definitely dynasty teams. And they're going to be fun teams to create, interesting. One of them might be a little cliche, just because of who's on the team. But we'll get there, we'll get there. All the teams are, except for one, are from the 1980s, and then the other team is from the early mid 2000s. And that team will be a little bit more easy to create. Well, was a little bit more easy to create than the other 2 teams, because the other 2 teams had to make every single player, and the team in the 2000s was definitely. There's players left in the league, so it wasn't that difficult. However, I'm excited to use that one. I'd have to decide which one I'm using first. I think we're going to do that team before we do the other 2. So we might do the 2000s team. So leave your comments down below. I'll let you guess on the teams. And if you guess the next team correctly, I will pin your comment to the top of the comment section so everybody can see. However, I will not tell you who it is. You just have to guess. And that's how we are going to do that. Toronto Maple Leafs. Speaking of the Maple Leafs, up 2-1 on Washington right now. Holy cow. Who expected that? Toronto to be up 2-1, let alone have any lead in this series against the Washington Capitals. I find that awesome that they're actually doing that. The Rangers and Canadiens series, great series between the Rangers and Canadiens right now. Great series. Enjoying that series, very much so. Hits galore. The Rangers had like 74 hits in Game 2. Even though they lost that game, god dang it. Still, 74 hits is an entertaining game to watch, if you ask me. Love that playoff hockey. Love the physicality in playoff hockey. Wish they can get some more day games. Tonight, the Anaheim Ducks and the Calgary... the Anaheim Ducks can sweep the Calgary Flames, and the St. Louis Blues can sweep the Minnesota Wild. So keep an eye on those series tonight, and we will see who will and will not be swept. The Columbus Blue Jackets avoided being swept last night, and barely so. Pittsburgh scored that guy Jake Gensel, who's going off right now, by the way. Absolutely off, Jake Gensel. Scored like 32 seconds left, and Pittsburgh had some constant pressure. I was seriously getting worried for the Blue Jackets, thinking that the Penguins were going to come back and win that game, which would have stunk. Because, I mean, I really expected the Blue Jackets to put up a heck of a fight against the Penguins. However, they did not do so. Oh, boy. And the poor Calgary Flames, man. I was really thinking they were going to do something this year. The Nashville Predators, if they sweep the Blackhawks, it's going to be an all-out riot in Chicago. All out. I would bug out. You know what it is? And it happens to the Rangers, too. You can see it in Stahl, Girardi, Klein, all these guys now that have been here for a little while. Those long playoff runs take tolls on those players. All those block shots, hits, extra minutes played, all that stuff, it takes a toll on your guys. Don't get Keith in a puppy no more, man. He's like 33 years old. And I think, it could be mounting up to these guys. The dynasty might have came and went. I'm not counting them out by any means. Never will I ever count out the Chicago Blackhawks. However, I do believe that maybe, just maybe, some of the guys might be aging a little bit quicker due to those long, long playoff runs. It's entirely possible. Listen, I watched it happen to the Rangers. I watched it happen to them. And it is very much so a thing. Happened to everybody and anybody. Even Dan Girardi, who is on a lucrative contract that I disagreed with from the day he signed it. Not that Girardi was a bad player when he signed it. It's just like, you sign a guy that plays that many minutes a night during the regular season and has played that many games and that many minutes in the postseason. You can't sign a guy that long, that much money, and don't expect him to break down. Just a hard thing to do. It's all part of the game. Whew, excuse me. Same thing with Mark Stahl. Although, they both played very well this season, Stahl and Girardi. Kevin Klein looks like he got the worst of it. And I am a huge Kevin Klein fan. Huge. I love Kevin Klein. But, definitely caught up to him. Injuries. Ooh, 8-1 loss against Florida. Ew. I'm pretty sure, Florida was definitely around. I think. Were they around? Yeah, they had to be around. Detroit wasn't around when the Rangers won the Cup. That was the years of Stevie Wonder, Stevie Y. What a beast Steve Yzerman was, man. Guy was captain at like 19 years old. The youngest captain in history for a long time was Steve Yzerman. And Detroit is known for not really having many young guys on the team. Very few players have the, trying to think of the right word, the opportunity, I guess would be the best word for it, to play on the Red Wings at such a young age. They do a great job of developing young talent in Detroit. So having a guy like Steve Yzerman on the team at 18 is just ridiculous. Speaking of Detroit Red Wings players, how many of you know that Gordie Howe, from ages like 15 to 19, tried out for the New York Rangers all 4 years and failed to make it all those years until he ultimately went to Detroit, Michigan, and then just tore it up, had one of the most famous careers, illustrious careers in NHL history? Yes, that is the thing, people. The Rangers not only screwed up getting Steven Stamkos years ago, but they also did not pick up Gordie Howe when they had the chance. Story of my life as a Rangers fan, people. You other fans, be blessed that you don't make the mistake. Your team does not make the mistakes that the Rangers make. Be blessed. All right, how are we doing here? Let's go. We definitely made the playoffs, right? Definitely made the playoffs. Oh, the New Jersey Devils, baby. All right, first and foremost, let's take a look and see how everybody did in the regular season, because this is what I wanted to see more than anything. Let us take a looker. Brian Leetch led the way with 65 points. Did I read that correctly? Really? 95 overall defenseman? Wow, only 25 goals for Grays? Was I being a little bit ambitious, thinking that they were going to get, like, in the 80s, 70s, 80s in points? Possibly. Looking at their statistics, I was definitely ambitious. At least Koster had the penalty minutes I assumed he would get. You know what? All right. A lot of big minuses on this team, mostly the bottom six. How did Richter do? I'm very surprised that 65 points is where we capped off. Richter, not bad. Glenn Healy could have done better. Wow, that is incredibly shocking that they kind of blew it like that. Let's take a look. Let's just see who led the league in points, just for the sake of knowing Crosby. All right. There's actually no player left in the NHL that played in the season the Rangers won the Cup. 44, 28, and 10. Not bad by any means. Not bad at all. Let's go to that calendar. Let us see how the 1993-94 New York Rangers simulate against today's New Jersey Devils, because they managed to make it to the playoffs. First period. Did not. All right. 0-0. Second. Oh, Steve Larmer gets the Rangers on the board. Third period. Oh, all right. Not enough. Not enough from the Rangers in that one. Okay. All right, they lose the game 4-2. No bueno. No bueno whatsoever. However, it is a marathon to 16 wins, not a race. Let us get there, gentlemen. First period. All right, Stefan Matteau and Kyle Palmieri. Second. Brian Leetch, third. And we are right back in the series. It is a 1-1 series, best of 5 now. Let us go, boys. 1 down, 15 to go. Let us get there. Shaboom, and come on, you can simulate just a little bit quicker. Just help me out here, just a wee bit. As we get later in the playoffs, assuming we make it that far, simulation will be a lot quicker. First period. Excellent. Graves and Glenn Anderson, baby. Second. Larmer Noonan. Oh, baby, let's go. A 5-0 shutout. And the Rangers are making mincemeat that game out of the New Jersey Devils. I love it. Let us go. All right, great. The AHL regular season ended. Who cares? Let's go. Get that game 4 action. Rangers trying to go up 3-1 in this series. Let's see it. Larmer and Messier. Second. Actually, those goals were what? 17? No, like 15 seconds apart. That's sick. Second. All right, they tie it up. What am I doing? Oh, and then team up with Matteau, baby. Let's go. 3-1 series lead for your New York Rangers. Now, the elimination games have commenced, so we are able to simulate minute by minute in the third period, assuming the game is in, a winning reach. First period. Second. Oh, baby, let's go. Come on. Finish them off, baby. Finish them off. Let's go, Rangers. Come on. One thing I will say about xTech, the first few teams he did, he had a hard time getting past the first round. Let's see if we can do it in our first go. Steve Larmer's got something to say about that. Let's go, baby. Come on. Finish him off. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Zubov, baby. Let go. All right, off to the second round of the playoffs. Let's see who our opponents will be in the second round. The first round of the playoffs started in the 93-94 Stanley Cup run. I believe the Rangers played the New York Islanders. I'm not sure they played the second round. Played the Devils in the conference finals and went on to defeat the Vancouver Canucks in the Stanley Cup finals. The Pittsburgh Penguins is what we will reference to them as they are our opponents. Let us go. Game 1, first period. Nemchimov versus Crosby on the face-off. Who will strike first? Adam Graves. However, Letang and Russ had something to say about that. Second period. Evgeny Malkin. And third. And Connor flipping Sheary. All right, lose 4-1 game 1. That is definitely no bueno and unacceptable. Let's get him back in game 2. Make it a best-of-5 series again. Sim game. I am positive I want to sim the affiliate game first period. Attaboy. Larmer and Anderson. Second. Bang and shaboom. Let's go. It is a best-of-5 series. If the Rangers beat them 2-1, Steve Larmer is a beast. Is an absolute beast. Let's get that game 3 action. I did not mean to click cancel. I am positive I want to simulate that game. First period. Nick Bonino, second. Crosby and Malkin, and okay. That was a definitely no bueno game. I do not accept losses, especially to that magnitude. Being shut out in the playoffs is kind of insulting. Get that game 4, though, at the Garden. It is a 93-94 Garden, not the new Garden that you can't hear the fans in. Let's get loud and rowdy, NY. First period. All right, second. Third? Question mark? Never mind. Okay, this is not looking good. Not looking good by any stretch of the imagination. We are a game away from being eliminated in the second round by Pittsburgh, which is not good at all. Sim affiliate game, I am positive. First period. Second, Mark Messier said we will win tonight. And you are correct. Mark Messier, please say we will win again tonight in Game 6 on the 6th against Pittsburgh at the Garden. Let go. First period. Second. Third. Shaboom, baby. Let's go. We push it to Game 7. Messier and Nemchimov putting the puck in the back of the net, as well as Esatikin and the boys coming through. I do not care about scouting assignment. Game 7 in Pittsburgh. Let's go to the conference finals. What do you say, Mark Messier? First period. Damn it. Kuhnhackl. Shut up. Second. Tikin and Zubov, baby. Let's go. Come on, baby. Come on. Power play. Put her up there, baby. Ugh. No. When you get a power play, you're supposed to score, not give up a goal. Pittsburgh, listen to what I just said. Come on. Please don't do overtime. I have such bad luck in overtime. Don't do it to me. Don't do it. Oh, you're going to do it to me, son of a gun. Oh, come on. Ah, damn it, Connor Sheary, come on! You screwed me up, man! The 1993-94 Rangers get eliminated in the second round of the playoffs by the Pittsburgh Penguins, and that'll do, donkey, that'll do. I totally forgot to mention, if you look in the top right corner, I have Neil Smith as my general manager name, as he was the general manager of the 93-94 Rangers. What a shit shame, man. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. We push it to Game 7. How do we do in the playoffs? Who was our performer? Steve Larmer with 7 goals. What a beast. Nemchimov, Mactavish, Leetch, Zubov, Graves, Messier, everybody did great. I'm so happy I did this. We had fun. However, it is time to wind down and put an end to this video. First and foremost, I would love to see who wins the cup. And then I will sign off and see you all in the next one. However, if it's a Pittsburgh-San Jose rematch and San Jose wins, I will be quite content. Of course, I will edit the scouting assignment. Why wouldn't I? Of course, yes, please. Please, scout more. What do we got? Who's winning the cup? The Washington Capitals. You know what? Whatever. Anyways, thank you everybody for watching the video. I hope you all enjoyed watching it, because I certainly enjoyed making it. And special thank you to xTech Gaming. for allowing me to do this video. So, if you understood everything I just said in this video, you do not need hearing aids. I will see you all in the next one. Peace!